Good morning. I'm that Amy girl. We are starting our 5th day of our Friendiversary trip, and today's date is Friday, April 11th, 2025. So today we are finishing up Connecticut. If you've been watching, we started out in Connecticut at the Pez Center. Today we're going to do one more thing in Connecticut so that we can knock it off the list. And that thing is we're going to go to Mark Twain's home. Now there I can only record the outside and let you take a look at the outside. They do not allow any recording or photographing at all. So I'll just have to tell you about it. Then we are going to move on to Rhode Island and start Rhode Island today. And we're going to see some trolls. And I'll talk to you about those later. Anyway, for now, welcome to my world. Won't you please come on in. Okay, so we have arrived. This is the home of Mark Twain, aka Samuel Clemens, whose family lived here from 1874 to 1891. We call this the loveliest home that ever was. And it was built by Edward Tutterman Potter. It's amazing architecture. Look at that, it's just gorgeous. And it is beautiful. The Mark Twain Museum and House Tour gives you access to the Visitor Center, which offers a theater that plays a documentary of Mark Twain's life, as well as some artifacts, including the only remaining page compositor, an early typesetting machine. You will also get a guided tour through the home of Mark Twain, which has some incredible interior design by Louis C. Tiffany. It costs $28 per person, and parking is free. We have made it to Rhode Island, and our first stop is going to be, well, we're here already, Ninigret Park. And we're going to go see some trolls. And like I said, eventually we're going to tell you the story about the trolls and how they became a thing that we now have to find them all, like Pokemon kind of. All right, here we go off to our first troll. So to find the trolls, we parked over near the playground. We parked by the playground, and you can see as we're walking right now the big old troll feet leading us to the first troll. There are two here. Well, every troll has a name and a story. Usually. There he is in all his glory. Hold on, let me see if I can back up. There we go. And we'll come a little bit closer. There he is in all his glory. Hello, Eric. I don't know if they have his story anywhere though. I know when we saw the trolls before, they had their story kind of close by. I don't see anything with his story, so we'll have to see if we could find that online somewhere. But there is Eric, and we're gonna get some pictures with Eric. We passed by Eric. We're heading off to the next troll, which is Greta. She's a little further down. I read that she's like a little less than half a mile down, so we're gonna head out to her and get our pictures with her. These trolls were constructed by Thomas Dambo. He is a recyclist artist from Denmark, and there will be more information in the description about him if you check that out. Just for people who may want to come here, we had to go to the whole other side when the trail split, but it didn't give us a sign of where to go when it split, so we just kind of guessed. And luckily we lucked out because we went to the other end of the parking lot where it ended. We do see more footprints, which tells us we're likely about to find Greta. So we have her name. I didn't see Eric's name. We have Greta Granite, and she is over here. Oh, the frick. Wait. All right, I see these. Where is she? She must be a little further down. We have located Greta. I thought I saw her peeking out the other side earlier, but I was wrong. Here she is. Oh. Okay. Just gonna make our way over. And this, you can see up here. Oh, there was no sign with Eric, yeah. And there it says Greta Granite. And there she is. And so if you're doing the Thomas Dambo scavenger hunt, there is the website. Greta is number 128. There's like, look at the detail to this.
The fact that these shells are not breaking.
And it's amazing.
Like that it's not busted up.
And you can see all the wood. This is the details of Greta. Look at her necklace. It is so cute. Greta even has a ponytail back here. We just came around the back of Greta. And then her feet are down here. We have arrived at our hotel for the night. Before I finish out the video and do the outro, I just want to tell you about the Thomas Dambo trolls. Last year for our Friendiversary, we went to the Philadelphia Zoo where some of Thomas Dambo's trolls were. And there were 6 there. And I had learned about them from the Carpetbagger, who was another YouTuber that I watched pretty regularly. And he had been at the zoo, I think just a couple days before we were going. And so I was excited. I was like, yes, we're going to go check that out. And we found the first 5 pretty easily for the most part. I mean, we were walking all around the different parts of the zoo. But then there was one that just like eluded us. We could not find it. And we stopped and asked one of the workers there, like, where's this troll? Of course, he had no idea which troll we hadn't seen. Then he goes, well, the one that most people miss is the one in the children's area, which of course was where we had missed it from because we didn't have any kids with us. So we went over there. Actually, we're practically jogging / running so that we could get there before the zoo closed. Finally found it, and that's where our adventure with Thomas Dambo's trolls began. Yeah, we had to find all of them, and we're ready to find more. And so every time I find that there are trolls where we're going, I'm like, oh, we're going to go see those trolls. Now, I do know that there are trolls in Maine. However, that park didn't open until Maine, or doesn't open. What? Doesn't open till May. It doesn't open till May. So we'll have to come back around to that at some point. So I am aware of those trolls for people who are like, do also watch out for the Thomas Dambo trolls. I did know that they are there. I just knew that we couldn't get to them yet. And that's the story of the Thomas Dambo trolls. All right, well, that does it for today's adventures. We went out to Ninigret Park for Rhode Island, and we finished off Connecticut with Mark Twain's house. So we can take Connecticut off the list, which makes it 29 states down and 21 to go. Unfortunately, we did not see any moose yet. Nina is still not sure if they exist. We did see some Bigfoot, but they were replicas, so I don't know if they're real. I do think that they might be, though. They may be more real than the moose at this point, is kind of what we're thinking. But we'll see. Tomorrow, and for you, next week's video, we will be finishing off Rhode Island. Until then, go chase your dreams.